Welcome back to Unconditional Trews. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. And if this is your first time, subscribe. I need all the viewers I can get. I'm trying to build a community of people. And if you're just subscribing and just watching these videos, I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. Either start making your own video or leave me some comments. Let's get involved in the conversation. I don't want this to just be me talking to a camera. So like I said, if you've got a video, a page, a channel, some comments, anything, please leave them down there for me. Subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you, and I'll share your message as long as it's a positive and friendly one. So guys, we're going to talk about a few things today. I'm going to kind of wrap up a few things I left out on my video on immigration, which was just kind of a short bit. I saw a poster, the picture of a poster on Facebook essentially saying that vets are dying on waiting lists while illegal immigrants are collecting billions of dollars. Guys, I think one of the biggest problems that we are facing with topics like immigration, right, is that it seems to be, and obviously there's definitely something to do with the numbers. I mean, there's a smaller percentage of the rich and much larger percentage of people that are without. So we'll say the haves and the have-nots. And obviously within a group of have-nots, we don't know all the people that have, right? And so what we see is the people that are in our own scale, that scale that has been built by these powers, right? And so I think it's easier for us to look at other people that are in our circles and in our realm of reality of being poor and say, you're the problem and you're the reason why this is all wrong, right? Well, guys, those people are in the same positions that we're in. They don't have stuff either, and they're just trying to do their best to provide a life for them and their family. Okay, I don't think they just come here and say, we want to take over this country and we hate all Americans. And from what I've seen, the immigrants that I meet on a day-to-day basis, like I said, I'm only 90 miles away from Cuba. I'm all the time meeting people from other countries. And I love it. I think that's what makes America great, is that we are so open to other nations, right? And so here's what I'm going to say, guys, is that it's easy for us to try to fight them, right? Because they're on our same playing field. We know their weaknesses, we know their strengths, we know everything about them, because essentially the only thing separating us is an imaginary line and maybe darker skin color, right? If we choose the easier opponent, is that necessarily the thing that's going to win us the battle, the war, whatever it is, you know, the war on inequality? Is it the people that have nothing that we should attack, or is it the ones that have everything who are directing the narrative of, oh, it's these people that are taking up all the little breadcrumbs that we're throwing down at you? Why can't we just have a whole slice of the whole bread? You know what I mean? Why does it have to be crumbs that are given to us and divided amongst other people? So as you can see, I'm getting a little fired up, guys. And the other reason why I'm going to say that is because, you know, I've been questioning this whole reality of, like, if there's young people out there that feel the way I do, and if there were younger people, let's say like my parents' generations, at one point in their lives that they felt like this, then what was the change? And when did that change happen? And I've been questioning that day to day now for quite a while. And I'm able to look at the peers, the people that I grew up with, the ones that had similar stories like I did, let's say like a fatherless home and, you know, single parent mom, struggling with all those things of life, right? Well, the people I grew up with that were in similar situations like that, they were becoming their own men now. They're becoming their own fathers and families and things like that. And so this is a really big part, I think, of where we start to narrow down and start to think about just ourselves, especially when you have like a small child involved. You know, your priorities become different because you have to provide for this one child, right? And to me, guys, like the guy that posted that picture of the millions dying on waiting lists and illegal immigrants are collecting billions, like, it makes me sad for him. It makes me, you know, upset at the fact that somewhere along the lines they're distorting the facts to this one person where he feels that this other group of have-nots is the problem, you know. And that obviously that's been a narrative that's been given down the line for long time. The other part of it is that when I looked maybe a little bit into what else is this person saying, and, you know, if you just make one statement about, you know, immigrants and things like that, sure, that's your opinion and you're able to do that. But I went and checked out this guy's Facebook page to see what else he maybe had on the topic, to why he had these positions and these points of views, right? There was nothing else except for this poster. one thing I saw on there that was kind of, you know, just questioning this person's mental capacity for what is truly going on and his understanding of how it's being affected was the fact that this guy had a picture of him playing this video game, right? Which I can't see what's on his TV, but because I know this guy personally, I would imagine that it was definitely probably a game like Medal of Honor and the war games that we have going on that are so popular now, right? Well, guys, those are the exact things that are continuing to create these hatreds and these violence and these stimulating that part of our mind. If we watch nothing but TV and radio shows and movies that had nothing to do with about loving everybody that you possibly can and no violence at all, what effect would that have on us mentally as a species? I think it would be a great and positive one. But if we keep blasting things like WWE and games where people, it's like fun to shoot each other and kill each other, and we've got different ethnical backgrounds fighting each other in these games, and like, what purpose is that really serving for us, guys? And so, like, it makes me question a person's point of view. If that's what they're doing with their spare time, then how are you addressing the problem of immigration? How are you coming closer to understanding such a complex problem that is obviously facing this country? To me, you're not. You're just saying something based off of something that someone else handed you. You know, guys, I don't make these videos and do this and just tell you what I think. I mean, I have to go online and do some research and find out information, find what other people are saying. You know, in my spare time, I watch television like C-SPAN. C-SPAN 1, 2, and 3. It's one thing that I do think is good about our system here is that they do have those channels and those outlets on there available for you to be able to hear what politicians and world leaders and other people are saying about today's times. The only problem is when you're flipping through the channels and you see something with Kim Kardashian's ass on it versus watching C-SPAN, which one are you going to probably pay more attention to? And that's what we have to understand, is that they know the ways to capture our attention. You know, so guys, if you have a problem with immigration, start looking into it. Don't look into it from just one side of the argument, though. And maybe this is something that I need to even challenge myself with, is trying to look at it from their, you know, these points that people are making about that it's destroying our job market and things like that. So one of the other main arguments, besides that immigrants don't pay taxes, is that they take away our American paying jobs, right? And they lower the wage that America has. Now, this is something that I directly have a connection to, something that I've dealt with in my life, actually in this past year when I was out in Kansas. And if you've watched some of my other videos before, you know that I went out to Kansas and I learned how to drive a semi-truck and cut Milo and drive the grain to the elevators, right? Well, in that system, it is set up within our own legal standings that average wage does not apply to agricultural means, meaning that they can pay those people whatever they essentially come up with, and there's no necessarily guidelines to that. And so you guys know, when I was working out there, at one point I added up my hours and I was making $3.13 an hour, right? Well, soon after I had that thought, I quit that job. Some people don't have the luxury of doing that. Some people need that money, even though it's so little, to survive and to provide for their family, that's all that they can get, right? And obviously, if you're a normal American who has had regular jobs, like working at McDonald's where you can make $7.25 an hour, why would you go sign up for a job that's potentially going to pay you $3.13? So these guys are, so they're filling a need in a position, guys, that is definitely a dire one in the American economy. You know, if you're upset about immigration, you're upset about these things, then all I'm suggesting to you is put yourself in their shoes and put yourself in a position where we have created a land where the idea of freedom can be planted as a seed, and it can blossom and it can grow. And maybe they're just trying to have a taste of that, to know what that is like. And should we really be able to stop these people from fulfilling that desire? No. Benjamin Franklin and the forefathers believed in the pursuit of happiness. They didn't just believe that in just for Americans. That was an idea that they were trying to express, to say that it's all our options and it's all our choice, and that's what we should, you know, a new dream, a new world that we can create is one where everyone has the choice to the pursuit of happiness. If being an American is what you want, then I, as an American citizen, want to thank you for coming here. And the reason why I say that is because I believe that if these people can find such a romantic idea with the idea of America, then obviously they have a pure thought and a less tainted one than I have. Therefore, as an American citizen, I would gladly give up my position for anybody that wants to come here and wants to provide to this system if they feel like that's what's best for their life. Because I don't think so. I don't think this system is working out too well. And I think the people that don't know that yet just haven't been here long enough, and so to them, being able to go to McDonald's or being able to just pick your own job and where you live, that is enough freedom for them. When they're not thinking outside the box that it was actually capable of it happening in their own country, so they're just coming here to try to learn that germination process of the idea behind freedom. Now, in my last video, I posted up something about redefining the terms that we use in our everyday realities to help reshape that. Freedom is definitely one of those words. So real quick, I'm going to kind of throw out a weekly challenge to you guys. Anybody that will make a video, please tag me in it or post about it on my page. But what does freedom mean to you? What is your definition of freedom? What is your definition of success? What is your definition of equality? What is your definition of life? If anybody can make a video about that, and just give your points of view, I would love to know, because it's not going to be the same for everybody. Not everybody's going to have the same goals and the same wants and aspirations. So that's what we have to do, is start to get an understanding, and how can we take one or two of these thoughts and these ideas that we all have and make them a whole and put them together, right? The other thing, guys, is, you know, here in the Florida Keys, it's a very interesting place. I thought I was going to come to an island where people were just going to be loving life and talking about it. And very much here, I see definitely there's a huge divide in the people that live here. There are the super rich and wealthy that are able to come down here, spend half their year down here, doing vacation, things like that, and this is like their second home. And then there's like the working class of people who is here, and they are here day in and day out working to provide, you know, this type of idea of like island lifestyle to these rich and powerful people, right? And so I think there's definitely a huge divide here amongst equality, things like that. You know, one thing that I'm facing with in my life right now is I don't make enough money to necessarily sustain where I stay, right? So me as a person, I have to make a choice of either getting a second job or eliminating some of my expenses, which I don't have a lot of expenses, guys, and I designed it that way. I made sure that I don't have things that I don't need, like a car payment and insurance payment and all these things, right? And so it was proposed to me I get a second job. Well, I don't want to do that, because then I'm just working my life away. I won't have time to do these things like make these videos or talk to people and just get to meet people and stuff, things I truly enjoy. And so my idea is if we can't increase wages for everybody, then let's talk about lowering the price of stuff, the stuff of items and stuff like that.